one more poet before the interval, and she is Ardella Jones. Ardella lives in Collier's Wood. I've known her for 10 or 12 years now. I met her because I started taking classes at Balham College, and she was teaching creative writing. She was also running the college as well. So I did 5 terms of creative writing with Ardella. She taught me everything I know. I was completely illiterate until I met her, so thank you for that.
We can leave that.
Oh yes, I do stumble at times. She's a novelist, she's a screenwriter. She runs creative writing school now called Chalk the Sun. She's broken away from the college at Balham, and she's now got her own thing, and it's great. And so please welcome the wicked diva of Collier's Wood, Ardella Jones!
You're always saying that, John. You've been saying that to me since I was 14.
I haven't stopped yet.
It's great to be here celebrating the 25th anniversary of Dodo Modern Poets. I think when Patrick founded it, he was only 10. Now, I know that, it's a great laugh, I know that a lot of you are expecting me to do something trivial and comic, smutty even. But I'm going to start my set tonight with a very serious poem. It's one that was inspired by the role-determined gender conflict in the sexual political dynamic between Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir. It's set against the backdrop of the French existentialist movement and the prevailing hegemony of global capitalism. It's untitled. Jean-Paul Sartre was a great French thinker. He loved philosophising, but he was also a heavy drinker and prone to womanising. Yes, old JP had many sins. He often left Psy sobbing, while she typed up the mandarins. He was out illicit nobbing. When Simone penned The Second Sex, that seminal feminist tome, Jean-Paul took up with his ex and was very seldom home. What good's an existentialist when you need some TLC? He's just another bloke what's pissed. Bugger philosophy. This time he's really gone too far, Simone thought. He'd have to go. She tracked him to a seedy bar and pointed her finger so. Chauvinist pig, you're in for a dig. You've had one too many. If you're going to carry on that way, then shack up with Jean Genet. Hell is other people, so you write. But to me, it's you, JP, you pile of shite. Thank you. That's my sort of noodle vague meets EastEnders. Now, you probably realise from that I am very serious participant in the feminist literary dialectic. I recently wrote a feminist version, a womanist version of the D.H. Lawrence novel, Lady Chatterley's Hoover. And I've also completed a translation of 200 Years of Shopping by Melda Garcia Marquez. Now, this next poem was inspired by my friend Ahmed Joan, who gave me a rather unusual response when I asked her which Jane Austen heroine she would like to be. So this is called Pride and Prejudice. Which Bennet sister would you be? Placid Jane? Lively Lizzie? My friend said, girl, I tell you this, when it comes to Pride and Prejudice, there's only one good role for me. Rich Bold Darcy, Mr. Darcy. I'd be him any day, on his high stepping grey, cutting a frightful dash with Pemberley and all that cash, riding into Derbyshire, independent, free from fear, no petticoat coats and big long knickers, bossy patrons, whinging vicars. I won't be some poor spinster bitch. Just give me bollocks and make me rich. I do slum it sometimes, and I'm going to read for you now one that was inspired in the Castle pub in Tooting while they were broadcasting the finals of the UEFA Cup. And there were 200 sweaty, hairy, drunk men jumping up and down, shouting at the television, and we were in the corner trying to read some poems. So I made the only male poet in the group turn quite white when I said, I'm just going to pop up to the bar and ask them if they turn that telly off. And this got me thinking what the world would be like if we changed our values and poetry replaced football. So this is called The Beautiful Game. Oh. I think it all started when Chelsea won the cup. Football's domination was well and truly up. We all got bored and started reading books. We had no time for Motti, Brooking or Garth Crooks. People started going to read poems in the park, declaiming lyrical ballads until it got quite dark. Sunday mornings the kids all went to Poets Club, and after the dads recited Wordsworth in the pub. Midweek recitals were performed beneath floodlights. Then everyone rushed home to catch the edited highlights. Then someone had the idea of starting a Premier League, and all at once our art was mired in lust and greed. Dodo put in a big bid for a Brazilian balladeer, and scouts scoured open mics for talent far and near. Then a budding bard was caught stoned in his Lamborghini, and Andrew Motion began posing with a bird in a bikini. The Byron boys were arrested for a nasty sexual assault. If they hadn't posted it on YouTube, they'd never have been caught. Caroline Duffy drew and had a punch-up with Jackie Kay, and Pam Ayres demanded a 5-figure rise in pay. The BNP threw bananas at Benjamin Zephaniah, while drunken Yeats fans set Enniskillen all on fire. Seamus Healy's new epic missed a crucial penalty. John Cooper Clarke's punk performance was banned from Poesy. The Poetry Quarterly was sold off to Malaysian sharks. Reading groups were all brought up by Russian oligarchs. Shares of poetry were flogged to Tom, Dick and Harry, while fans chanted, Ruth Padell takes it up the Gary. Thus, poetry became a sordid money-making scam with artistic integrity and empty hollow sham. All our bards were corrupted by luxury and fame. So just remember, it's not the winning, it's the playing of the game. I really think I've got the level here in Merton, haven't I? And I have to say, you may not know this, but Patrick has actually got a Maserati parked round the corner. Now, as well as popular culture, I also do keep my finger on the throbbing creative pulse of modern art. And my next poem was written after a friend made the mistake of taking me to a very fashionable gallery in Deptford to see a performance work. It's called Installation. It's called Urban Goddess Contemplates Her Future, intones my friend, my would-be tutor. It's a bold statement of contemporary stagnation, a narrative on a dysfunctional nation, a witty comment of postmodern whimsy, suggesting life's futile and flimsy. I crane my neck and strain to see this wondrous art in front of me. The gallery goers surround the exhibit, all agog, afraid to miss it. The room pulsates with anticipation, a pious hush of expectation. The lights come up, a CD hums. There's a rhythmic chant, a roll of drums, and there, lying upon the floor, among empty cans and an apple car, bound tight with handcuffs and a gag, is a fat bird in a black bin bag. I was underwhelmed. It is like the Emperor's New Clothes, though. Apparently you're not supposed to say loudly, but it's a fat bird in a bin bag. Now, just to keep up my cognizance with contemporary popular culture, my next poem...
Do you need me to play with that for you?
Not again, John. My next poem is a kind of rap piece. I wrote it a long time ago when I was half of a comedy double act in the 90s. We were fascinated by how all our friends, nice white middle class kids in Sunbury-on-Thames and places like that, that they were all obsessed with gangster rap from the Bronx and the LA Compton ghetto. And our favourite at the time was a witty little number called Fuck the Police by NWA, the N-word with attitude. So we formed a little duo called HCC, Honkies with Credit Cards. We tried to find a topic that would really get people in Wimbledon Village angry and street. So this is it. You're going to be able to join in on the chorus. And it's called Fuck the Postmodernists. I don't want no cut-up shark upon my mantelpiece. Unmade beds and all that lark don't give me mental peace. Picasso is an arsehole, all those women with free tits. Kandinsky, Rothko, Miro are a load of useless gits. Pointillism's loads of dots and cubism's just square. I like flowers stuck in pots and pre-raffs with long hair. So give me Stubbs and Turner's tugs and Vermeer's Dutch interiors. Augustus Johns can do no wrong. Those postmods are inferiors. Kind of now. Fuck the polos, drunkards, junkies, homos. Fuck the polos. Thank you. That was postmodern irony. I do not want to get the reputation as being the poetry circuit's female, what's his face? John, your favourite?
Russell Brand.
No, not Russell Brand. Tight jeans, Jeremy Clarkson. That's what I'm struggling for. Now, for any of you who are tempted to make an investment in modern art, you might think about real estate instead. This is a new poem I've written called A House is Not a Home. A house is not a home. It's a fixed rate, variable or interest only loan. It's a short to mid-term low risk investment with 30 to 40% median divestment. We're on a real estate winner, comparing our profits over dinner. You know our pokey little two-bed flat, the one above the laundromat? It's now worth over 300,000, a 12-room house in Southern Ireland. Well, our Edwardian Tooting Terrace brought us a palazzo in Venice. We've sold our council semi in Milton Keynes to buy a small island in the Grenadines. Yes, and nobody can be smugger nor gladder than those climbing up the property ladder. You must put your roses round your door, polish up your strip pine floor, rag roll your reception with eggshell mat, extend your kitchen, convert your attic, turn your garage into a granny flat. Glass in your side, return for the washermatic. A purpose-built utility room will make your house price go vroom vroom. When your original features have all had restoration and there's nothing left for renovation, it's time for the moment of revelation, the estate agent's initial valuation. Here, measure up your loft and cellar, advertise to the Shanghai city dweller. Here, describe your outside loo as a gazaboo and swear blind the boiler's ultra new. You'll think he'll get the maximum dough for your pile of bricks and old stucco, but he will lie and cheat and rob you blind. commit deviations of every kind, inflate your price and then gazump you, get his brother-in-law to trump you. Be it Foxtons, Winkworths or Barnard Marcus, the estate agent is the devil's carcass. He may make your Desred sound real pucker, but never trust the smarmy fellow. Next time I do it, I'll get the lines in the right order. Now, for those of you in possession of a Tooting mansion, you might know the subject of my next poem. It's an old one, but one of my favourites. And I originally wrote it for Faridin, the Afghan butcher's boy, up at Aslam in Tooting. But he's now kind of more portly, middle-aged Afghan entrepreneur with entire chain of shops, Pakiza. They do deliveries, special occasions, Eid and Ramadan deals. So, this is Hello Love, Salam. The Afghan butcher's boy has eyes of shyest green. They slither from bold to coy, leave little left unseen. He comes from the wild borders, mountainous, cool, remote, where Taliban give orders, Quran is learned by rote. School is just some old imam sitting beneath the trees. Women are both worthless mules and endless fantasies. The UN drops its food aid, the Allies only bombs. He escapes from an air raid, finds everybody gone. So now he's here in Tooting, the Afghan butcher's boy, safe from bombing and shooting, his sharp knives just a toy. Expert, he cuts, chops, slices through sheep and cows and goats. Halal, free from vices, blood drained through slitted throats. He speaks Pashto and Farsi, writes numbers but not words. He's learnt to speak in Cockney to Bosnians and Kurds. Jamaicans and Nigerians he greets with Watagwan. Iraqis and Algerians, Assalamu alaikum. He cuts beef kotti and chicken chinka chinka, leaves the lamb deggy, does gosh chops when you're ready. He sports a diamond earring, hair gel, a mobile phone. He says it cool and ting. You want that on the bone? Potato head, he calls his mate. That's our who head to you. My English, he's not very great, he shrugs, but what to do? When women wait inside the shop, he still comes over shy. His hands chop non-stop through bellies, breasts and thigh. Sometimes his green eyes linger, they can't help but go astray. He's almost lost a finger, but still he chops away. Yes, Tooting's a confusing mix, blood, money, lust and joy, and women with alluring tricks to tempt an Afghan boy. I've got a little poem here, which is for anyone who's ever visited the mountains of Afghanistan or Kerala or Jamaica or anywhere where they grow good weed, even Gloucestershire. And it's called Whoever Said. Whoever said the acrid stench of marijuana had never stood in a ganja field at dawn, watching the dainty green leaves reaching up to greet the morn, pretty trembling green fronds welcoming the sun, casting dappled shadows ready to give fun, sticky drops of mango scent rising in warm vapours. What a bloody pity I forgot to bring some papers. Don't do them anymore. Right. And my penultimate poem, to coin France's rather neat phrase, is for all of you who are going to seek sunshine, relaxation, herbal or otherwise this summer, particularly if you're going to go on a budget airline. It's called It Ain't Easy. Emergency exits are to the left and right, said the stewardess on our budget flight. She was not smiling, slim and fair, like the charming girls on British Air, nor was she ebony-eyed, exotic and chic, like the veiled ladies of Air Afrique. No, she was lumpy, frumpy, rather dumpy. Her uniform crimpling and frumpy, ill-tempered, clumsy, too well-fed. Yes, we were flying from Stansted. The steward too was no male model, spotty, plump, inclined to waddle. They would forever be waiters in the skies, defrosting pizza, nuking prize. They'd never get to fly Pan Am, Virgin Cafe, or anything glam. We ordered coffee and a tea. The steward tipped it over me. That's £5.50 if you please, he said as he wiped it off my knees. The hostess came round with duty free, but I got up to have a wee. Make the most of it, she called to me. From next week, it's 50p. The seats were cramped and very hard. The sandwiches were made of card. They overcharged me for my fags, surcharged my luggage, then lost my bags. It almost made me want to weep, but it's what you get for travelling cheap. What you pay is for what you get. There's nothing easy about EasyJet. That was actually Ryanair, as some of you are about to discover when they go on a creative writing retreat. Now, I'd just like to say quickly that I don't have any books for sale outside. I thought I'd just cut out the middleman. If you want to, you can pour alcohol directly down my throat. So I'm going to do my last poem. Have we got any teachers in the audience tonight? Any teachers? Anybody ever been to school? A teacher? And anyone teenage kids? Because teachers are all happy they're out on holiday. But this is for anyone exposed to children, and it's called School's Out. No more Latin, no more French, no more sitting on the old school bench. We're all doing media studies, blogging with our Facebook buddies. Got no time for the 3 R's, though we all expect A stars. In English we ain't even fluent, 'cause we're always playing truant. We devote our time to photo texting, happy slapping, unsafe sexing. We call the staff by their first names, don't do no gym or team type games. Gosh, I've lost myself. We run in corridors, smoke in sheds. Can't keep nothing in our heads. We're inebriate and half dyslexic, prone to self-harm, anorexic, hyperactive, easily led. At least that's what we're tell Ofsted. We reject your middle-class perspectives, 'cause we've got our own objectives. Jamie Oliver's just Ponzi. We want to sit and watch Beyonce, eat deep-fried food, maybe jelly, grow up fast and get on telly, make loads of dough, buy loads of blow, sell our story to Hello. Don't even think of trying to rein us in. The cane, the birch, all discipline. That's called inappropriate behaviour. Ask Esther Ranson, she's our saviour. You've got to get on our learning curves, or we'll denounce you, pedo-pervs.
I know Ardella was going to be so serious tonight.